When you sit down at a restaurant, you open up the menu, and you probably think it's just a list of food, right? Well, what if I told you that menu is actually one of the most powerful tools in the whole place? It's part psychology, part science, and it's what separates the okay restaurants from the ones that are just printing money. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden science. Let's dive in.
Okay, to get us started, a simple question for you. Take a look at these two pizzas. You've got your classic Margherita, and then you have this truffle-loaded Tartufata. Now, one of them is way better for the restaurant's bottom line. Which one do you think it is?
If you guessed the Tartufata, you are absolutely right. And this right here perfectly illustrates a huge mistake so many managers make. They get obsessed with food cost percentage. The Margherita looks amazing on paper, right? Only a 15% cost, but it only puts €6.80 in the bank. The Tartufata, though, yeah, its food cost is way higher at 30%, but look at the cash it generates. €12.60. That is almost double the actual profit. And that leads us straight into our first big idea, the profitability paradox. It's this counterintuitive but really crucial logic that focusing on low costs can actually lead to lower profits. Let's unpack that. This quote you see here really is the foundation for any smart menu strategy. Percentages inform decisions. Cash sustains businesses. I mean, think about it. Percentages are great for analysis, but you can't pay your rent or your staff with percentages. You pay them with cash. So the goal isn't to have the most efficient menu on paper, it's to generate the most actual cash. So this means you have to totally shift your mindset. So many people in this business spend all their time playing defense, obsessing over food costs, trying to save every last penny. But the real growth, the real money, comes from playing offense. And that means strategically designing your menu to guide your guests toward the items that actually make you the most dollars.
So how do you actually play offense? Well, you start by mapping your menu. And there's this simple but brilliant framework that turns your list of dishes into a strategic roadmap.
It's called the Menu Engineering Matrix. Basically, it's a grid that plots every single item on your menu based on two things: popularity, how often people order it, and profitability. And remember, by profitability, we mean the actual cash profit, what's often called the contribution margin, that it generates every time you sell one. This simple grid sorts every dish into one of four categories.
First up, you've got your stars. These are the absolute best of the best. Everybody loves them, and they make you a ton of money. These are your brand heroes. The action here? It's simple. Protect them. Make sure they are always perfect, always available, and you make them super visible on the menu.
Next are the Plowhorses. These are really popular, but they don't actually make you that much profit. Think of a classic burger or a basic pasta. They're total crowd pleasers. You don't want to mess with their popularity, so the strategy here is a bit more delicate. Can you maybe increase the price by just a little bit or swap out an ingredient to improve the margin without anyone really noticing? Now we get to the puzzles. Honestly, these are the biggest opportunities on any menu. They have fantastic profit margins, but for whatever reason, they just don't sell. These are your hidden gold mines. The challenge isn't the item itself, it's all about how you're selling it. And finally, we have the dogs. Low popularity, low profitability. These items are just taking up space, complicating your inventory, and slowing down your kitchen. In pretty much every case, the best thing to do is just get them off the menu.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at this fantastic case study from a pizzeria in Berlin that used this exact framework to solve their biggest puzzle.
So, here's the deal. They had this signature pizza on the menu. The kitchen loved it, the profit on it was amazing, but almost nobody was ordering it. It was a textbook puzzle. The problem wasn't how it tasted, it was how it was positioned. So they put together a 60-day action plan with 3 really smart steps. First, visual engineering. They put a box around the pizza on the menu to make it pop, and they got rid of the currency symbols to lessen that pain of paying. Second, service storytelling. They actually trained their servers to stop just taking orders and start telling the story behind the pizza's unique ingredients. And third, price anchoring. This is brilliant. They added an even more expensive pizza to the menu, which made the signature pizza suddenly look like a really good deal. So what happened? The results were just staggering. In only 60 days, sales of that signature pizza more than doubled. As you can see right here from the source, that pizza officially went from being a puzzle to being a star. It became one of their best-selling,
highest profit items, driving a serious, measurable boost to their overall bottom line. And you know what's incredible? This huge win cost them zero in marketing spend. It was all down to smart, strategic menu design.
So, here's the crucial takeaway. Your menu is not just a passive list of items. It is an active, revenue-generating tool.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important point. If your menu is full of stuff that's unpopular or not making you money, the issue probably isn't your pricing. As the source material puts it just perfectly, you don't have a pricing problem, you have a design problem.
So, the next time you look at a menu, whether you're a customer or you run the place, I want you to ask yourself this question. Where is the hidden gold mine? Where's that puzzle just waiting to be turned into a star? Finding that answer could be worth an absolute fortune. Thanks for tuning in.